Hello there. Let's have a little chat about those people that aren't currently on the electoral roll because there's a few of them, and altogether they could be a really powerful voice in the future of this country if they were all to decide to vote the same way, which is never going to happen because that's just not how people work. But it's a really interesting thought exercise. And don't forget, if you're not currently on the electoral roll, it's really easy to get on there, and it's kind of the law if you're over the age of 18, you're supposed to be on the roll. You don't have to vote, but you have to be on the roll. And you can get onto the electoral roll right up until election day itself. In the polling station, you can actually join the electoral roll, but it's much easier to do it through elections.nz, through their website, and get it all sorted now. So it's easy, done, and dusted. Now let's have a quick look at some numbers. These numbers were released by the Electoral Commission. It's a breakdown by age band of who's there, who's eligible to vote, and who's actually enrolled to vote. And people under the age of 40, wow, there is a lot of people there who are not enrolled to vote. 275,684 of them to be exact. Whereas if we were to look at people over the age of 70, for example, there's 700 people not enrolled to vote. So you're going to see a much higher voter turnout for those age groups. And we've seen that in the past. But because you've got a huge chunk of people under the age of 40 who are not wanting to have a say, won't have a say, don't feel right having a say, that can have a really big make-up effect on how Parliament looks at the end. Now let's run a little bit of a hypothetical situation here. Let's say that there was a political party that offered everything that you wanted, some really common sense approach stuff that you were really excited about the leader. Let's say they've got policies like a capital gains tax or a wealth tax or not wanting onions anymore because they're terrible, terrible foods, or getting rid of student loan debt after 10 years if people have been making constant payments on it, or, free dental, or, I don't know, 6 weeks paid leave every year. That kind of policy platform that seems to speak to everybody, and you've got a charismatic leader, some, I don't know, James T. Kirk style individual running the party, and people get really enthused and excited. 275,000 votes for that particular party would make it the third largest party in Parliament. It would get more votes than we saw both the ACT and Green Party get in the 2020 election. This is how many they got. You're talking about a party that would end up with somewhere between 11 and 13 seats in Parliament on 275,000 votes. That is a huge amount of power and a huge amount of influence when it comes to the decision making for the country and the way you want the country to move forward, because that's a powerful coalition partner for any party to have. 275,000 votes could make the difference between a country where we go backwards or go forwards, where thousands of people get fired from a job working for government because somebody wants to save $1 billion in operating costs, versus making sure that the country is a safe, fair place for us all to grow up and live and do what we do. 275,000 votes is more than the population of Kirikiriroa Hamilton. That's a lot of power. And that power at the moment is sitting there unrecognized because those people aren't currently registered. And if you're one of those people, or you know one of those people, please go to elections.nz, get yourself enrolled. I'm afraid you can't vote for that No Onions party, but find policies that speak to you and vote for them, because it's so important that on October 14, you get out there and have your say.